All right, now let's see if these extra layers that we found for the roar will end up being useful to us. All right, let's go ahead and let's just add several sound shifters together. We're just going to take it with the 1 octave down, and we're going to stretch it a little bit. Pull the volume up a little bit. Okay, so it looks like the seagulls may not be the best fit for this sound. Let's try the cranes. Definitely going to have to fade this part down. All right, let's try pitch shifting it down. All right, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up some of that hiss in the top end, some of the insects and things that you hear in there. So I'm just going to go back to isotope. Let's get our equalizer. Let's go with the VST3 version of it. Roll out the super lows. Let's roll out some of the highs. And now let's hear it. And then what I'm going to add is a little bit of echo. And for that, let's use the BX delay. Okay, let's turn off sync, turn off wet solo. Let's try kind of a slap range delay. Add some distortion. A little less. We'll add some ducking and some chorusing. A little more feedback. Filter that out. Change the pan a little bit. And now let's hear it. Let's hear it in with everything else. It's a little loud. Let's pull it down. Slide it back a little. All right, that'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print those effects. I'm using a script from Adam T. Croft, his Instant Take Suite, which basically gives you Audio Suite in Reaper. So I just go in, select the effects that I want, select the take that I want to apply them to, use my keyboard shortcut, and there it goes. Now I can remove these. They're printed on. They're not using my CPU anymore. Let's put a limiter on here. There we go. That's working for the roar. I'm going to stop this video now and start a new one so that I can show you how I am looking for samples that we can use for the flames. All right, let's start looking for some sounds in Soundly that we can use for the flames. I'm going to start a new folder for the flames. Let's make this one orange. And now let's start browsing for samples that we want to use. Let's put in maybe flamethrower. Let's see what that does. And you can see that Soundly's machine learning in the search engine gives me things that are similar to flamethrower as well as the flamethrower itself. So let's listen to this. That could be useful for the initial part of the flame. So let's go ahead, put that into Reaper. Right there is about where the fire starts. Let's listen to this one. That one's a little too sci-fi. Not quite a dragon flame. That sounds useful. Let's grab this right here. You can see it lasts longer than we need it to. So we can go ahead and cut it short, fade it out. Let's hear what we got so far. Not too bad. Cut the volume down, and let's keep looking. That might be a useful layer. The latter part of that could be really useful. Let's drag it down there, cut it, fade it, mute it. We'll get back to it later. This one here, I'm going to try. I think I like that second one best. Let's listen to this one though. Ooh, that's really nice. We're going to use both this part and this part kind of at the same time. So let's go in. I don't know why Reaper isn't letting me put it on a new track yet. There we go. No, that's not at all what we need. All right, now let's get some sounds just of fire burning. That could be good. Let's use this later part here for the fire on the ground after the dragon has breathed its fire. So we'll maybe do this in a separate folder even. Let's get a couple more just so that we've got enough. Let's put that up here. Let's hear what we've got so far for the fire burning. Let's find one more just in case we end up not liking one of those two. That'll be good as the fire moves. There we go. That ought to do it. Have it start right about there. There we go. All right. So that sounds about good for the crackle, for now at least. Let's start putting in these layers. Turn that one way down. And cut it way shorter. Not sure that one's needed. Let's keep that one muted. Let's try this one. So I'm hearing a little bit too much of a rush of energy at the beginning here. You can hear there how there's like a little click of an ignition. We don't need that. There we go. Let's see what this one does. Yeah, that one's not adding a whole lot. Let's mute that for now. Let's try this one. Let's move this a little earlier. Turn it down a little bit. Let's add this one in. Add this a little later. Turn it down. And let's try this little spark right here. Too early. Who else is getting us an ignition sound? That one's fine. There we go. Let's fade that. And let's use this one just for the initial ignition. All right, let's delete these layers that we're not using. Add the fire crackle back in. Turn it way down. And let's have it start a little later. That's a little too late. There we go. That's not sounding bad at all. Let's take solo off and let's listen to it. Let's color the rest of our flames layers orange to help keep us organized. And let's color these ones red. Listen to it all together. Sounds like we can have this fire crackling going on a little bit longer. Now let's add some EQ. We're going to go back to our friend Neutron, cut out just the really lows, and let's listen for the part that gives the fire its power in context with everything else. I changed my mind. Let's solo that. Right here at around 600 hertz is sounding pretty good. Let's change that to a band shelf. I love the shape of that. Widen it a bit. Now let's listen. Maybe not that much of a boost. Let's get some more presence in here. And again, actually let's just go with a bell curve there. There we go. That'll clean it up a little bit. A little bit of filtering to help it sit in with everything else. Let's listen to it now. Turn the flames up a hair. Sounds like we've got it starting a little too early. Let's pull this back a bit. And turn this down a little. Let's raise our wings flapping up a little bit. Look to see where we are. Yeah, we're too hot on our master bus. Yes, it's floating point math, but just for good practice so that anything we decide we want to put here won't be overloaded. So I'm going to take the roar, pull it down a little, and let's listen. I think I've got a little too much reverb on the roar. Alright, I'm going to stop this video. We'll start one for the final layer to see if we can get some medieval battle clanging samples in here. People yelling, things like that.